Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q6 and FY13 earnings conference call of Escorts Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Raghavendra Jaipuria of Perfect Relations. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Jaipuria.
Thank you, Monica. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Escorts Limited Q6 and FY13 results conference call. Today we have with us Mr. Sridhar, CEO, Agri Machinery, Mr. Ajay Sambrani, CEO, Escorts Construction Equipment, Mr. Dipankar Ghosh, CEO, Auto and Railway Products, Mr. Bharat Madan, Group Financial Controller, Ms. Jyoti Khatuka, Head Treasury, Mr. Saikat Mukhopadhyay, CFO, Construction Equipment, and Mr. Rajiv Das, Vice President, Corporate Affairs and Communication. We will start the call with a brief opening remarks from the management, followed by an interactive Q&A session. Before we start, I would like to add that some of the statements that we make in today's call will be forward-looking in nature. At this moment, I would request Mr. Das to make his opening remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning everyone and welcome to Escorts Limited earnings conference call. As you are all aware, Escorts Limited has extended its financial year by 6 months, that is up to 31st March 2014, as approved by the Board of Directors in their meeting held on 2nd October 2013. The results reported yesterday are for Q6 and for 18 months ended 31st March 2014. Let me give you a small snapshot of the 18 months performance ended March 2014. Tractor volumes increased by 9% to a little over a lakh tractors from 92,543 of the earlier period. Construction equipment volumes down 35% at 4,789 from 7,307. Our operating income up by 6.2% to rupees 6,291.5 crores, whereas our EBITDA increased 31.7% to rupees 381.2 crores. The margin now stands at 6.1%. Finance costs down by rupees 29 crore to rupees 110.7 crore. PBT, profit before tax, up by 81% to rupees 272.4 crore, and PAT increased by a similar multiple in 18 months ended to rupees 244.9 crores. EPS rupees 20.53 as that of rupees 11.34 last year same period. The Board of Directors have recommended a dividend at 18%, that is, rupees 1.8 per equity share of rupees 10 each for the 18-month period ended 31st March 2014. Our performance on a quarter basis ended March 2014, tractor volumes at 15,556, up by 5.3% correspondingly and down by 18.33% sequentially. Construction equipment volume stands at 677 as against 737 of last quarter and 1,113 of corresponding quarter. The operating income stood at rupees 982.9 crore as against rupees 1159.6 crores of last quarter and rupees 1,000.6 crores of corresponding quarter. The EBITDA at rupees 45.8 crore as against rupees 71 crore last quarter and rupees 54.3 crore of corresponding quarter. Finance costs down by rupees 2 crore to 13.5 crore as compared to last quarter. The PBT up by 4.3% year on year to rupees 32.6 crore from rupees 31.2 crores. Turning our attention to the Escorts Agri Machinery division. The domestic industry grew by over 20% in fiscal ended March 14, touching a volume of 634,000 tractors approximately from 528,000 tractors. During H2, that is October 13 to March 14, The All India industry growth was 16%, whereas growth from southern and western markets was 24% year-on-year. This was on the back of a very good monsoon and steady rise in water tables across water bodies. As compared to the industry, Escorts grew by 11% on year-on-year basis and grew by 14% in our strong markets during the fiscal ended March 14. In the last quarter, which is Q6, our tractor volumes went up by 5.4% to 15,556 tractors on a corresponding basis. We kept our focus on increasing market penetration in FY14 and added 205 exclusive Escorts dealers in the last 12 months, keeping in mind our objective of having strong and sustainable profitable dealerships. In line with our intention to broad-base our international presence, we entered the South African market in the month of May with the launch of Heritage Series, the same that was launched in Europe in Hanover in November 2013. To strengthen our product offering across horsepower and HP categories, we made a series of launches both in PowerTrack and in the premium farm track category. The PowerTrack Euro DS Plus series, which offers 10% higher fuel efficiency plus 10% higher power output, was launched in the 30 to 40 HP category and has been received enthusiastically by the farming community at large, and they see this as a great value buy for their farms. In the 50 plus segment, FarmTrack Executive Series has been received well, gaining market share across the geography. Raw material costs form the largest chunk for any manufacturing company's cost base. To benchmark ourselves against the best, we have taken initiatives that focus on building a lean supplier base with supply chain productivity to enable reduction in working capital. We are confident of seeing positive results here. Our efforts towards reducing fixed costs have kept pace in the quarter gone by, and tangible results will be visible in this financial year. Coming to the construction equipment division, the year has gone by was full of challenges for the sector. We hope now that with a stable government at the center, the industry should turn around in the coming quarters. Our focus for this division has been on product enrichment and reducing our fixed cost base, and with this approach in mind, several initiatives have been taken. No increase in fixed costs even after taking the effect of increased wages and salary increments. Reduced our break-even point by a fair margin mainly through fixed cost rationalizations. Business transformation exercise underway to transform sales and marketing structure, warranty and inventory turns, and rationalization of our product platform. We will also be working on to induce a raw material efficiency and vendor rationalization. We are continuously working shift towards a better product mix, leaner manufacturing, sales setup, and better management of fixed costs to overcome the slowdown in the sector and to meet the opportunity that we will see unfolding hopefully later in the year. Moving to the auto products division. The Indian automobile industry continues to witness a weak demand across vehicle segments. In view of the pressure on OEM segment sales, the business undertook the following initiatives to reduce the adverse impact on profitability. First, greater focus on domestic as well as global aftermarkets. EAP, Escorts Auto Products, increased its reach both in the domestic and global aftermarkets, expanded its merchant exports to Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Egypt and Dubai, as well as entered into many of these markets and Indonesia through direct dealers. The new product development is the next item. 80 new product variants were developed during the last 18 months to focus primarily on high-margin exports and aftermarket segments. Cost reduction efforts. Key fixed and semi-variable expenses such as power and fuel costs and administration expenses have reduced year-on-year despite more than 30% increase in fuel prices. As we speak, the mandate that we had earlier spoken about is still actively out in the market looking for a strategic partner to turn around the business, coupled with the restructuring objectives and VRS schemes that the company is looking into to further restructure and bring this business back to profitability. Finally, coming on to our railway division. The order inflow from railway continues to remain subdued. At Escorts, we are developing products for new generation rolling stocks as we are seeing a decline for the old generation rolling stocks. The Escorts air brake system for BMBS, that is the bogie mounted brake system, has been performing well in the field, and the commercial benefits of which will start post-approval in mid-2014. Income for the quarter increased to rupees 45.13 crore, an increase of 35.8% on quarter-to-quarter basis. Order book for this division as of 1st April stood at rupees 30 crores, crores, which will get executed in the next 2 to 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, in my closing comments, before we start the question answer session, I would like to thank you all, as also, as you know, we distribute our earnings release through our website, www.escortsgroup.com. So do feel free to write to us and visit our website for our earning releases, as well as the other details that accompany the call. You can also visit our social media page for latest company news and updates. Once again, thank you for your time and being present at this conference call today, and we look forward to hearing your questions in the moments ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to only use handsets while asking a question. The first question is from the line of Raghu Nandan from Asian Market Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. I had a query on the tractor segment. Generally, how are you looking at the industry in terms of outlook for your domestic and exports? And specifically with reference to domestic, if this concern on El Nino pans out, so how would it might impact sales? Would you think the impact will come with a lag for the next year and the impact will be lower for the current year?
Good morning, Raghu. I'm Sridhar from Tractor Division.
Sure, sir.
Tractor outlook for the year. El Nino effect is today we cannot even count on because it's too early, and it is not about only the quantity of rainfall. It is also about the spatial, and also it's about the time frame. Even if everything goes right the way it has happened in February end, like a hailstorm, and very many things are involved. So providing for is a little too early, even though we prepare some contingencies. So I will keep that aside without looking for that effect. Our outlook for the industry remains like this. Maybe in the month of till Jan and February, our outlook for the industry was something like a 12%. That was what we have shared in our last.
True, sir. I was there on the last call.
Yeah. That we revised it to 8% after that hailstorm, whatever has happened in February and March. Large scale, I think 15% of the area had some damage. Okay, that is what has happened. But currently, the way we see the industry from the month of March, which was growing at the rate of 20%, came down to something like a 5% in the month of March, become minus 10% in April. Currently, it is going at the rate of minus 5% for the month. So, providing for all this, we would like to arrive at an estimate of something like a 4% for the whole year, which will mean something like 8% plus kind of a growth rate in the second 6 months. And the current 6 months can at best be flat, and current quarter can be negative. This is the way we prepare our outlook for the domestic industry. When it comes to exports performance, I think we have been gearing up. We have been preparing products and positioning for certain specific countries. Homologation is underway. The benefits will be seen from the month of September and October. Just to give you an idea, as against the 1,000 number kind of an exports what we have done last year, this year it should be at least double, and it should further double by one more financial year down. That means if this year if it is going to be 2,000, year after the next it should be 4,000. That is the kind of a growth rate you should expect for exports.
Sir, if I may, with reference to exports, where are you seeing more traction coming from? I understand that in the initial comments you talked about Europe and South Africa. So those be the geographies which are giving those incremental numbers, one. And second, on the overall agri segment, how do you see the, margins panning out? For example, how far do you have to go in terms of improvement when you compare with the likes of the best in the industry, say Mahindra and Mahindra, and any your near-term initiatives on that, and any low-hanging fruits which could bring in some benefits?
Okay. I think I will split the question into two. The way you asked, first I will explain about the exports, and then I will talk about the domestic. See, exports, still we are going through a very, very preparatory stage. Maybe 2 years back, the way we used to do exports is only based on institutional orders. Only when we get a government orders, we used to sell. Otherwise, we used to go blank. This is the way we were. The way we are preparing ourselves is we are preparing our what you call the retail business model is what we are developing at many continents. So the numbers are small, like 1 per month, 2 per month, kind of a thing is happening, but it is happening in many countries. For example, Southeast Asia is one of the areas we are preparing that way. Countries including Malaysia, Myanmar, including Cambodia, Laos, shortly few more countries. So these are the countries which can give us a very good margin, has a good potential eventually, but we are warming up. Possibly these are the markets 2 years from now we should expect a very rich harvest. This is one side of the story. The other side of the story is the preparation happens 2 ways. One for developed markets like Germany, kind of a market, Poland, Germany, European continent. Another is for African continent. So for both the markets we are preparing simultaneously. So the model what we have developed, Heritage Series is one such a product which is a global product which should cater to both these categories, almost at the bottom of the pyramid for those kind of developed markets. This is the product which is undergoing a homologation. So including Africa, the products are getting ready, but the countries are not yet ready. So we are tying up, we have done it for 3 countries. It has to become 7 or 8 countries by end of another 6 months. So Africa will get ready end of this financial year when the product is also ready. Same is the story for Europe. We are already doing almost like a 4 to 5% share of business in Poland. The same thing is being targeted in a market like Germany. So 1 year down the line, in addition to Germany, it will be a story of Italy and France, which is the top 5 countries of Europe. So to give you an idea, first we have developed the product, showcasing in expos, eliciting responses from the trade. Now the trade recruitment is going on those kind of an area. These things should happen by September and October, but simultaneously homologation in Europe should be approved. So if all those things happen, this is the reason what we are saying almost 1,000 number exports should become 2,000 number in this financial year, should double into 4,000 number for the year after the next. So this is roughly the idea of how we are approaching the exports. And the exports have got huge potential. We have not spoken about USA, we have not spoken about many countries. So all these things will happen. But the first thing first, the products and positioning is first, and that is where we are working as on date. And it's almost ready. And you talked about profitability for margins for the tractor business. Just to give you a rough idea, we have been making something like 3 quarters back, we were making something like a 35% growth in EBITDA. I think last but 1 quarter, I think our margins were something like a 25%. The last quarter margin is something, growth rate is something like a 12%. If you look at it, what is the gap between 12% and 25%? It's prominently 2 areas. One is the internal area, like we have outsourced certain activity, but the manpower cost still exists in the system. Hopefully in another 6 months that manpower will go, so that the headcount reduction will happen. There is a second activity, something like a repair cost or also a one-time cost we have to incur. This is one portion of the cost. The other 50% of the cost is because of certain new model introduction. In the last con call, we have talked about certain new model getting launched, and we also spoken about 700 number types will become 3 times that number is what we spoke. So the same thing has become something like 800 number has become 2400 number. The new model contribution, to just give you an idea, from a 6% contribution is already reached 20% kind of an contribution. Good thing about the new models means we are securing our future. Bad thing about the new model, we are not in a position to recover the entire material cost the way we have developed this product. We have just recovered 50% of the material cost. So this is also resulting in our under recovery for the quarter. Going forward, I also spoke about in the last time itself, I will be needing 2 to 4 quarters more for a full recovery. That as of now looks a little more difficult because the assumption was the industry should grow at 8%. If industry goes down to this, the way what's happening now, our ability to pass on the full prices will be difficult because now the the discount war is already started in the market. People being in the press, discounting as high as 20 to 25,000 in the press itself is there. So our ability to pass on this will prolong. Instead of 2 months, it can become a 3 months and 6 months kind of a time. But having said that, this will prepare us very well, because the way 6% becoming 20% in a quarter speaks very well about our product and the positioning what we are going through. So let us see. We are eagerly watching. If as and when things recover, we will start recovering that kind of a money. So once we start doing, possibly we should go back to the way we have been growing our EBITDA margin shortly in 2 to 3 quarters back. This is broadly our idea actually. I hope I covered everything, Raghu.
Yes, sir. This was very helpful. Thank you very much, sir. I'll come back in the queue for more questions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, all are requested to please limit your questions to one per participant. If time permits, we will come back to you should you have more questions. The next question is from the line of Sonal Gupta from UBS Securities. Please go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon, sir. Just to, again, on the tractor side, I mean, you've grown 11% year on year in FY14, those 4 quarters, if I take, versus 20% for the industry. So, I mean, what is the plan, I mean, and how do you explain the underperformance, really speaking?
Okay. So, Gupta, I think we have to see it this way. This will be consistent with the language what we have spoken in almost 2 years or 1 year now. First from the market side, next from the Escorts side. Let us split this and see. Let us look at it from the market side. The market we classify is almost like our decent presence, or you can be little liberal in terms of calling strong markets of Escorts and weak markets of Escorts. The strong markets of Escorts is almost 60% of Indian size. Weak market of Escorts is something like 40% of the Indian size. The strong market of the Escorts, and when I say strong market, I'm talking about a prevailing market share of something like 14 to 15%. When I say a weak market of Escorts, I'm talking about something like 4 to 5% of our market share. So this is the classification of our strong market and weak market. Now, if you look at the industry performance, even though the overall industry is almost like a 20%, if you look at it for the year, maybe the quarter is 12%, the strong market of Escorts, if you look at it in the last 6 months, 3 months and 6 months, it's -1%, it's 5%, 8%. In other words, the strong market's growth rates were very, very less. Very, very less. Whereas the weak market of Escorts continue to grow very well. Just give you some number for your understanding. For example, weak markets in the last 1 month grew at 16%, 3 months period 17%, 6 months period 24%, 9 months period 24%. This is the growth. In the strong market of Escorts in the last 1 month 0%, 9%. It's almost that weak markets are growing at the rate of double that of Escorts strong market. This is an industry scenario. If you provide for this, then you will be seeing us retaining our market share in stock market and losing our positions in weak market. Now the question comes on, what are we going to do about our weak market, which is growing at 20% and we have been growing at negatively, not even holding ourselves. So I think a couple of conferences back, we already spoke about our starting of an initiative in couple of states, especially Andhra and Maharashtra. We said we are starting up an initiative where the tangible results will happen after 1 year, and it may be a 2-year effort to completely make them on par with a national level market share position, to give you an idea. The activities are on. This is also product-led activity. The products what we develop on the premium end are the products which is meant for the weak market, which broadly I call it as an MNC market, like a John Deere and New Holland kind of a market. So we are into our action plan, but we are halfway through. Some results are seen in some of the results in terms of market share doubling. Still, it is very small market share to start with, something like a 3% market share becoming 5 or 6% market share. Still a long haul. I would be expecting at least another 4 quarters to go to bring in a very decent market share in those kind of market. Hope I have answered, Mr. Gupta.
Yes, sir. And just if you could shed some light on, do you think, given that the industry is sort of slowing down, will there be any change in terms of the shift towards higher HP tractors, or do you think that you don't see much of a transition from here?
See, one is the slowing down for the industry. We should not worry from agri sector. So, irrespective of government support, this sector is here to stay. if you look at the history, we will never develop a doubt on this kind of a sector actually. This is not like infra or this market is here always to grow on a CAGR of something like 8 or 9%. But this kind of a dips do happen. So I don't think we revise our agenda just because one quarter goes this way or that way. We do watch the industry, we don't change our action. So just don't bother about the industry. The second area what you talked about is how the new segments are going to pan out, how this is going to happen. Will it go into a smaller size market? It's going to be a bigger sized tractor what we are asked for. This I think 2 years back itself we made a public statement. In India, the bigger sized tractors are here to grow and that segment is growing. This is here. But what happens is within the bigger segment also it is becoming a sub-classification. So within the bigger tractor, for example 45, 50 horsepower above, there are certain expensive tractors, there are certain cheaper tractors within the tractor horsepower category. Within that, the cheaper tractors within the higher horsepower category are the category growing whenever market is stuck in the bottom like this. Not necessarily expensive. Just give you expensive tractor means John Deere kind of a brand. Okay, those people have a difficulty. That's why you will be seeing their market share also from a high of 8% coming down to 5.5%. So it's more to do with the segment behavior than to do with anything to do with the brand. So having understood this, we have to prepare ourselves for not only on the premium end of the higher horsepower, we will also preparing ourselves for the lower end of the higher horsepower. In other words, some other brands like a PowerTrack, which was meant only around 35-40 horsepower, is getting ready with a lot of models around 45 horsepower, 50 horsepower, even above, to cater to those kind of an area. In other words, higher horsepower tractors are here to stay. That itself will bring out a lot of sub-segments. Escorts is preparing for catering to all those sub-segments because there is a good money there, even if you are catering into the economy segment within the higher horsepower segment. So we are getting ready. Maybe in 2 quarters from now, you will see all our models in the marketplace. Now it is being on the launch phase. So I cannot disclose more on that.
Okay, sir. Great. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Srinivas Rao from Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
So thank you very much. Just wanted to expand on the previous comments you made on the outlook for the tractor market. Your comments seem to indicate that the growth rates between various markets are, the divergence is very large. And second, on an overall basis, you seem to indicate that the tractor market is headed for a more softer growth for the next 18 months. So if you can just throw further light on that, it would be helpful, sir.
See, when we are talking about softening, we are not talking annualized. We are talking about immediate quarter perspective. And when we talk about it, we are also talking about month perspective. For example, it was growing at the rate of 20% now I am talking about all India. It was almost growing at 20% till Jan-February times. Suddenly that February hailstorm has softened the whole industry. From there it started coming down from a 20% growth rate, suddenly came down to 5% growth rate in the month of March. Then -10, -5, that kind of a thing. So these kind of a things we should see definitely for this quarter. This quarter will become a negative industry. To what extent we will get to know next month, because June is a peak month. That will show the intensity. Okay, that will happen. Maybe July, August, September also maybe on a recovery phase. From a negative phase to a recovery phase. Again, if industry starts growing, this industry doesn't show any moderation. If it starts growing again, it will grow at that pace. Okay, 8% I am trying to be moderate. It can be even sharper growth on that. So in this kind of industry, you need to be very nimble-footed, flexible, many things to be ready, step up production if necessary, not happening, cut down inventory and then be quiet about it. So your flexibility is the important key to succeed in this kind of an industry. So it can swing from a -10% to 20%. So unless we align, then we will not gain out of industry behavior. So we are watching. So what I am putting out is it's a moderate situation. So this quarter negative, next quarter is recovery. Third quarter, chances of coming back powerfully is pretty high. So let me limit, because beyond that it is hazarding a guess. So let me hold myself actually.
Thanks, sir. And secondly, you wanted to, as you indicated, weak versus a stronger market for Escorts. Is the divergence between various states quite large? What is the scenario right now there?
See, too much of a strategy question. I feel very uncomfortable. In addition to investors, I'm sure even my competitors will be listening actually. So it's a free education. So still, let me answer this. See what? Limited. See, my boss is telling me actually. Still, I try to be as open as possible. See, what happens is markets like the South and West, in terms of tractorization, has started pretty late. Whereas the soil conditions of these markets are pretty demanding actually.
True.
So what happens is, even though they are the late starters, they didn't go through the graduation path of A category, B category, C category, not like this. They landed up with the higher horsepower tractor quite steeply because of the demanding environment. So that has facilitated many MNCs like John Deere, even New Holland, have started doing very well. They established themselves. It's affordable. Financing is very, very high in those. Infrastructural support for enabling finance, this kind of a facility is very, very high. So that also moves the customer into a higher horsepower segment much faster. Okay, this is what has happened. Unfortunately, Escorts in the last 10 years didn't participate in those markets. Whereas still early 90s with our brand called Ford, we had significant presence in those kind of a market. We almost vacated it. And that gave the space for many of our competition to occupy. Having said that, 10 years are a pretty long period for them to tightly occupy. So today we have become stranger in the market where we have been the leader once upon a time. So the many actions what we are doing is two-level action. So one is the innovative products and also brand-led action is being prepared. Having said that, when I am talking about brand-led action, it also meaning that a lot of money is required. So good product alone is not good enough for rebooting in those kind of a market. So we are organizing ourselves. We will do state by state. We are seeing an initial success. Possibly you bear with me for another 4 to 6 quarters. You will see a fantastic story afterwards.
This is really helpful, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is on the line of Riken Gopani from Infina Finance. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, first thing that I want to understand on the pricing side, as you mentioned that there is a heavy discounting going on in the market right now. Could you highlight as to what would be the discount levels, and have we also started participating in the same?
Okay. See, I am commenting based on what the press advertisements, not through field intelligence. The press indicated something like 20,000 rupees on all the lead brands straight away drop their prices. It's all evidences through a press advertisements. So 20,000 is obvious. Beyond that it's only a guessing. I hope another 10,000 rupees will be below their table. So I would like to guess that something like 30,000 rupees is there. Maybe 10,000 rupees may be from the dealer side, 20,000 may be from the company side, kind of a guesstimate I make based on what I am hearing. So, as I said, the tractor industry has this kind of a behavior. When there is a boom, it is excessive. When it is burst, it becomes to sharply go down. So, if you tightly don't read the industry, don't organize yourself, every time you end up with the excess stocks or poor stocks. The poor stocks lead into, I'm not saying companies, maybe including the dealers, maybe making excess money. And when it is burst, what happens? People pumping their same similar kind of a money to sustain those kind of a volume. So this sharp fall also is the reason for why people are getting into this kind of a discount. This is not surprising. I am watching this industry for 2.5 to 3 years. Every time this kind of a phenomenon happens, this is an automatic response I am seeing from the industry players. But having said that, we had a poor EBITDA history, almost 4.5%, 5%. And we also wanted to become a leader in the EBITDA story, which is around 15% kind of an area. So one thing what we have stayed away is playing those kind of a game. We refuse to stay away even at the difficult stage we have stayed away. And now also we are staying away from the discount story. But having said that, we wanted to play the product story. We are making the most impressive products. Not in a position to recover full money is a different story. So we also contribute. It is like a more for more story. Superior product at a little more attractive price is our story. Not for same for less story which many of the players may be playing. So everybody has their own way of responding to the market. Market is competitive, will continue to be so for a couple of quarters. Again, the quarter 3 or the October scenario, I do expect a boom. Again, I will be seeing a very different behavior from the same industry. I think everybody is used to those kind of phenomena today.
Okay, got it. And also would that be therefore a right reading that your inventory is well under control across the system as of now?
Of course, we will be the first to draw. My finance control is watching. My inventory is more in his. The buttons are more with him than with the sales guy actually. Okay. So we will cut down. We will always be a lean company. And of course, our attempt to cut right in the March itself is moderate to extent 500. Some more cuts we will do it because we would like to be lean. We don't want to, even sale loss is okay, but we don't want to be inefficient company. So some more is on the pipeline.
Okay. Sir, also if you could highlight and discuss something about what you are doing on the dealership network side in terms of since you're launching new products as well, how you are revamping the whole distribution system. Are you certain dealerships which are not functioning or not doing as well? How are you strategizing even in the stronger markets on the dealership side?
Sorry to interrupt. Sir, may I request you to please return to the queue after your question has been answered?
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, sir. My question was to understand more on the dealership side as to what you are doing there on revamping the distribution. If you could highlight what is happening there.
Okay. See, the point is, you would have seen a lot of articles on re-engineering Escorts. Old company with a lot of history. So we also have a lot of old dealers with old mindset. So it is not only internally we are re-engineering, we are externally also re-engineering. I think we would have replaced something like 200 to 250 dealers in the last 2 to 3 years time. So we are replacing a lot of dealers who are not willing to change with time. That's already happening. And we are also aggressively inducting the dealer. This is on the surface. More importantly, our story is more like a brand-led story. The clarification of PowerTrack as a brand and FarmTrack as a brand. The most important dealership story is aligning the dealership with the brand story of the company. In other words, now dealers are becoming exclusive dealers for FarmTrack, exclusive dealers for PowerTrack. This is what will become a winning proposition 2 years from now. When the products become distinct, positioning becoming distinct, the ability to charge premium becomes a distinct. So we will have a two different set of range, two different set of network. So that is also being put in place. Initially, this is happening in our so-called strong markets. Eventually, it will happen all India over a period of 3 years, 3 to 5 years over a period of time.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Chirag Shah from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks for the opportunity. So I wanted to understand that for your tractor portfolio, how would be the usage for infra-related activities? If you can share some light over there, it would be helpful. And are you seeing any kind of cushion that could come in your overall tractor volumes from that side over the next 12 to 15 months?
For your answer is, if infra does very well, we are a direct beneficiary, we are an indirect beneficiary. Direct beneficiary because we have a construction equipment division. Indirect beneficiary is the tractor division, which I will explain now. See, the infra, nobody buys a brand new tractor and put it for what is called mining, stone, crush. The infra activity support is not done through a brand new tractor. Then where it is getting used, the infra-led activity kickstarts the demand for a second-hand used vehicle sales demand, or the resale for the used vehicle goes up. A 3-year-old tractor starts commanding a better price. The moment customer gets a better price for a 3-year-old tractor, he is tempted to replace the tractor. So that higher resale value recovery thanks to this action is indirectly become a boost for new vehicle sales. But this comes with a lag effect. Means if infra activity revives, you should expect the benefits to happen 3 to 4 quarters later, not simultaneously. For me, if infra revival is 6 months, the action what you are asking for is still 1.5 years away.
Assessment for the tractors and the regions where you operate, how big could be the demand potential for you coming from this side? Is it possible to do that kind of analysis or not really? Can we say that 20-25% of your volumes are indirectly linked to recovery in infra?
No. See, the point is, if I am to tell you my 100% of the... See, I would put it this way. 50% of my tractors have a trading kind of an arrangement. People buy and sell.
Okay.
That those people who buy and sell are the people who are bothered about the resale value.
Yeah.
Infra kind of an activity has a higher impact on the resale value.
Yes.
50% of the people will upgrade. Not only they upgrade for a superior products.
Okay.
The kind of a segment where we are interested in. Like E category, E plus category, we are interested in. It has got a lot of indirect benefits. But comes with a lag effect. It does not come simultaneously. I'm talking about haulage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair point. And if I can just do a follow-up thing on the discount that you highlighted. So, I was not able to understand that there is a brand advertisement done of 25,000 reduction in discount. But has actually the prices at the dealer level also dropped in that sense? That is a way to look at it?
See, now what happens is, in the difficult days now, whatever I am commenting on press advertisements, I talk about the industry. Newspaper advertisement targeting the customer end price.
Yeah.
That's what I will get to know. At what price they bill, I will never get to know. So end prices have gone down to the 20,000.
So is it that your billing or you have low, as a OEM industry has lowered prices by 20,000, but whether it is actually getting percolated or not, that is not clearly clear. That is the right way of understanding your statement?
No. I'm talking about customer prices have fallen by 20,000.
Okay.
That's the way to read.
Fair point. This was helpful. Very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bharat Gyani from Reliance Securities. Please go ahead.
So actually, I missed your previous guidance. Like you said, the industry would show flattish kind of a growth in H1 and then probably kind of recover in H2. So just wanted to understand, like, what are the reasons for downfall in the current quarter? Is it only the abnormal weather conditions, or like is there any other factor to look at?
We should look at it like two reasons for this kind of phenomena to happen. One is obviously the weather condition, which I have already explained. The going was very, very strong. Till February, the kind of a crop output, the prices were very, very good. From there, suddenly when the hailstorm, it has killed the sentiments. One is actual problem, second is the sentiment. People got into a very caution mode. This is one area. The second area where we should not rule out, if you look at it last year's same quarter, the growth rate of industry was growing almost like 26%, if I remember right, 26 to 30%. The industry was growing on a very high.
Okay.
One reason, we are talking about growth over a very high growth quarter.
Okay.
To see this, both factors together. And the story for the next quarter also. Then onwards it will become something like a realistic.
Okay. So, sir, like your guidance, I missed your full year guidance for the industry growth actually. If you can just repeat that.
As of now, something like 4%.
4% growth for FY14. For FY15, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, fine, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Mitul Shah from Karvy Stock. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for my question. Sir, I have a question on the construction equipment business. There is a sequential drop of roughly 8% in this quarter in the that side, but margin last quarter was -2%. This quarter it is -9%. So any specific reason for sharp decline? The volume decline only 8%.
If you see as a overall year, the construction segment has been a tough year for the whole segment. Specifically, the last quarter, we have seen number of decision making on key projects have not really moved forward. As you're aware that Escorts have quite a good balance when it comes to portfolio, but we are quite tilted towards industry and infrastructure. We have not seen the kind of recovery especially in the industry side, where our material handling products are positioned. And that's where we can see we have slowed down in this quarter, and that's where we see our volumes coming down.
Yeah, but so sequentially margin decline is around 700 basis points. So anything one-time kind of thing happen in this segment?
Yeah, as we saw the last year, the segments going slow down and the volumes going down, we have to rationalize our fixed cost, and we have been running number of transformation and adjustments of manning within the business. So we have taken those cost of adjustments of our fixed cost, and that's where we see the cost booking in this quarter.
So what will be the break-even volume for this business, and can we lower it further?
Yeah, I think last year was a good year where we lowered our break-even point substantially by almost 35%. Going forward, we will further rationalize. We are driving number of business transformation programs, basically to align. As you are aware, this segment is quite volatile and cyclic, and it's important that we manage our fixed costs well. So I think going forward, we'll continue our journey on operational excellence and also on the especially the adjustment of fixed costs.
So can you give any ballpark number for volumes for break-even of this business?
Well, on an annual basis, if you look at, we have brought down to close to about 5,000 equipments, and going forward, we will look forward for another 20% reduction.
And so last question on the market share side, market share of this construction equipment business, are we losing it?
Sorry, come again, please.
Market share in the construction segment, equipment
I think if you look at our positioning, we broadly put into three baskets. One is the material handling equipments, the second is the earth moving, and the third is the road application. So if you look at, we have a very strong positioning in the material handling segment, and we have not lost the market share. We are holding on to part. Actually, we are moving up the value chain when it comes to the product offering. Earth moving is a start. We have launched a new product last year, and this year we will see ramping up of volumes basically in the backhoe loaders. That's the product we have launched last year. So we will, this year going forward, we will ramp up our volumes, and we will see the market share going up. We have 3% market share, and the target is to double up going forward. So, and coming to the road application, last year has been a tough segment, and we have repositioned our products. So I would say on overall level, we have not seen our market share drop.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for my question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Jain from Nirmal Bang Securities. Please go ahead. Mr. Jain from Nirmal Bang, please go ahead with the question. Your line has been unmuted.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. This is Sunil here. Sir, the questions was mainly related to your auto division. Can you throw some light on how the things are panning out from here and how we can see improvement in this particular segment?
Sunil, actually, this particular auto division has been for the last few years, we were losing money. Now we have taken up a plan that we will go for a restructuring of the whole division. We are announcing various schemes, and we have taken up a restructuring of the whole operation management so that we can bring down the fixed cost, and the whole target is that by March 15 we make it EBITDA positive. We have some internal schemes which are going on, so hopefully by March 2015 we will be EBITDA positive.
About the VRS scheme, so is there any one-off charge in this particular quarter?
This particular quarter, we are working on it. We would be announcing it very soon.
Okay. And, sir, about this railway division, can you throw some more light how the whole year, next year can pan out?
We feel, I cannot give you numbers as well, but we feel that the coming quarters is very positive for us. We have already launched one of our biggest products, the bogie mounted brake system, which should be through with this approval in the coming quarter. So we feel there should be a good success in that. And we also see a lot of like the Kochi Metro, the Ahmedabad Metro, and a lot of other metros coming up where we are participating in a big way with the car builders. So we are hopeful of getting a lot of business. But as of now, I do not have any numbers to add.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Viraj Kacharia from Securities Investments Management Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. My question is on the tractor business. Now, if we were to see the growth in the domestic tractor industry for the first 9 months of FY14, it was growing around 20% as you pointed out. Now, if you see FY12 and to a large extent FY13, you had a very bad monsoons and a significant decline in the tractor volumes. So, is it that the upcycle which you have seen in the first 9 months, it's more of a pent-up demand which has been catered, and that kind of growth rate may not be, it may not be happen in going years?
Yeah, see, this becomes very difficult to predict, and that is a struggle. If it happens, it's something like even 24-26% in a few quarters, or it becomes like a -5 or -10%. This is where a CAGR of like 8 to 9% is a very, very reasonable estimate. Okay, this is what I think everybody is recommending, and we personally feel that is the correct growth rate to look for on a long term. Now, the rest on the particular first second half is more to do with the phenomena on monsoon, good crops, prices, so how the sentiment is panning out. That is the way we should look at it. Today also, there are certain hidden advantages. Like what happens is they always say, no, more water is better than less water. The last year, the current story, whatever we are struggling is not about not having water. So far the story is the excess water. The groundwater levels have really moved up. Okay, so we really don't know the El Nino kind of an effect. We'll wait and watch. These things are basically positive only. If there is no adversity with the monsoon, there are chances of our doing better or high in the second 6 months.
Okay. My second question is, like in last quarter con call, you did indicated us that you might be sharing some thought process on the range of agri-allied products which we intend to venture into. So, if you can just provide some color on that.
I think we are talking about a division called Crop Solutions. I think it's a little too early. We are still working. Let it take a concrete shape and then we will disclose. See, today I can't talk about exports because the action portion alignments are already over. So I am only implementation in place and time frames are fixed. Crop Solutions still a far cry. Thoughts and experiments, it's on that level. So too early to talk.
So would it be somewhere in the agri inputs in terms of small farm mechanization space or would it be crop specific? Any thought process on that?
I'm sorry?
Would it be in the small farm mechanization space which the company is trying to cater to, or?
No. Point is, I don't know whether you are talking about entry-level tractor kind of a stuff or machinery portion of it. The machinery, whatever we are trying to bring in, this is not meant for 1 acre, 2 acre type of a farmer. The machinery, whatever we are bringing, it's more in terms of bigger farmer or few farmers coming together and make it really a big space. So that is the kind of an area we are targeting. Certainly not the small or marginal farmers.
Okay, and this last one question. Now, increasingly we are seeing more and more agri and even tractor players getting into the small farm mechanization space. So, be say like tillers and other products. So, what is holding us back in terms of getting in this particular, say like power tillers and other products?
Okay, I'll just give you the idea is, please look at it from our side. Both the agri space and infra space itself is too large. It is not only India. There is a global opportunity. We have to go too far. We are still very small. Unless we accomplish those kind of objectives, straight away going into those kind of activities in terms of timing may not be a good idea. But having said that, The way we will cater to those kind of areas is bringing in series of partnerships where we do not get directly involved. We will bring in some strategic alliances where those people will do the rest for us. But having said that, I said, give me some more time because these are all being cooked. So it's not ready to serve as of now. I will share it with you when time is appropriate. But the question is, Escorts will not go directly into those kind of areas. Escorts has to do a lot of work in terms of tractors, variety of tractors, major markets, lot of things we needed to do before we directly get involved on those kind of areas.
Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is in the line of Ravi Purohit from Securities Investment Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thanks, Mr. Sridhar. It's always a pleasure to hear you. So just one question which is related to the previous questions that have been asked. Is that how does Escort see itself over the next 3 to 4 years in terms of broader strategy? Because we see a lot of divisions that we have, like we have railways, we have auto components, but the real profitability point of view, it's where the tractor division is, and that's where we also have a very strong brand, and maybe to the certain extent construction equipment, heavy, I think material handling equipment. So if you could just throw some light on what is our medium term strategy? Are we looking at hiring of some of these divisions, or are we looking at focusing more and more towards agri equipment, or agri and infra is something that we are committed to and we will go forward with those two?
Okay. Ravi, thanks for your nice words. I'll just explain a couple of things. First I will explain about the tractors and agri space systems. See, whatever we are doing is not any different from whatever we have spoken some 2 years back. In terms of alignment and action, it is already there. Now, slowly what you will be seeing is the actions and implementation and results. This is what you will keep hearing. So, a high degree of consistency in what we are trying to do. What we have set out ourselves is, we said that image markets will become number one. When we said our market share used to be something like 1.5% and 2%. And then year before last year it became 3%, last year it became 7%. This year on the E plus category we will be at 10 or 11, and we said in 2 years to 3 years from now we will reach at 18% where we will become a leader. So this is one area we have set out from something like 1.5%, 2%, we are on our path. Currently we are at 6.5%, 7%. Why? Because it sets such a huge imagery and instantly good money is there. Once we cracked that portion, we said then we will start attacking the mass market from an imagery point of view. So, in the 3 years, wanting to become number one in that space is the guideline, and we are going into the path, and the result is supporting that. Okay. The second area is, the segment what we are talking about itself is, I'm sure you will get it. The imagery and E plus, and this means big profits as well. The profitability is simply double that of any other popular category. 3 times that of the B category or C category. So that is the kind of a segment where we are talking about. We are on our path. I have given you certain market share improvements in the last 3 years. I also told you where we will reach there. Once we reach there, simultaneously we will come into the popular category through a drop-down technique. The moment we achieved our imagery and certain class and the leadership achieved there, the so-called popular categories, we will become a leader. That is where our hero kind of a model already is being warmed up. It's already doing very well. And that will start challenging positions for a higher volume, higher leadership. These things will happen after 3 years. In other words, it's almost you can expect in 5 years, 7 years from now, we should expect a number one position in certain premium category and number two kind of a positions in certain overall basis. This also means certain categories we have exited, like A category, B category. Almost 10% of the market we almost vacated. From a 3% share or 4% share, we almost vacated those kind of categories. Despite of vacation, we will reach something like 18 or 19% kind of a market share. So, this is only an Indian story. There is an equally impressive story we have for exports that we have said you will start seeing it every year in terms of doubling our volume. So, that is the kind of a story we see. And if you ask me, the other biggest wing which is being developed is the infra. Infra story is ready. Now, so far we have been only leaning ourselves, preparing ourselves in terms of strategy wise. You will see a similar story on what we are doing agri, even on the infra story. Now, the infra also needs an enabler. As I said, as agri, it's not government dependent. the industry is already a stable industry. Okay, so we are almost safe zone. The infra is a very government dependent kind of an industry. That is where the new government and our readiness should couple us into a fast forward mode. So between agri and infrastructure will remain always as our main focus. Incidentally, we may do something which may be supporting those two activities. Otherwise, the focus for us will remain as one leg on agri, one leg on infrastructure. Hope I have clarified, Ravi.
Yeah. That's quite useful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor, who's an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Saket. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you have earlier talked about, Mr. Dav already speak about the debt level and the interest cost being reduced. What is the ballpark figure for the debt level and the interest cost reduction that we must be expecting in the coming financial year? And what are the maturities of the long-term debt that are up for redemption in this year?
See, today we have a total debt position of close to 435 odd crores, out of which long-term debt is about 220 odd crores. And we have an annual repayment of close to 80 crores every year on the long-term debt. So maybe another 4 years you'll see the debt getting evaporated from the balance sheet. So having said that, on the finance cost side, you look at the improvement which has been there, because we have been discussing this a lot in the earlier conferences with the investors. One of the key issue was in terms of the average borrowing cost or its cost being very high. There are two reasons to that. One obviously was the debt level which was there in the cost of borrowing, and second was we had some extended creditors which are interest bearing liabilities not getting reflected on the balance sheet, which have been paid off in this particular year. So you see the major reduction has happened on the finance cost on that front, and that level today, if you look at borrowing level versus interest cost, we are today at a cost of about 12%, and this is a borrowing cost. So this level we expect will continue going forward. But yes, on the debt position, depending on the cash flow, I think you'll see a lot of improvement happening, the debt going down.
Sir, if we look at the shareholding pattern also, there are two trustees holding about around 30-33% of the stake in the company. So, and an earlier regulation from SEBI has also been mandated that the trust cannot, the employee trust cannot hold shares in the company. What is the game plan all about, and what is the purpose of these shares being held in the trust? If a clarification can be.
No, one trust, if you look at, that's the holding which Escorts is having on this is a treasury stock, so which has been given to the trust. So that's about 30% which is coming on that. So that's like we have been discussing in the earlier conferences. So that's the investment which we are holding more for the gains, and depending on what the opportunities in the market going forward, we'll take a call on those stocks. As of now, there is no restriction by the companies, new companies from SEBI side in holding the existing stocks in the treasury. Same thing applies to the stock option trust, which is the second trust where we are holding the shares for the employees. So that stocks as options are being used as and when the requirements are happening there, so they are getting distributed to the senior management team. So that will, I think, really get liquidated over a period of time.
A lot about this unallocable part speaks about is regarding this on the 886 crores that is there in the unallocated part. Is it about this treasury part and other stuff altogether, the capital employed?
The major one here is the fixed asset, because the land and building which is in the corporate office, so that's the major portion there. And the other major portion is obviously this treasury stock which is there, which is almost 400 crores, 360 odd crores.
Okay, so we have seen...
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Kapoor. May I request you please return to the question queue, sir?
Okay, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to paucity of time, we'll be taking the one last question from Sameer Deshpande, Fairdeal Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, all of you. There are definitely certain positives, that is a reduction in interest costs and good show by our tractor business. So, but I am concerned with the growing outlook for 14-15. See, if the tractor industry is expected to grow at 4% and our concentration in north and east and not in the other segments which are growing faster, there is a possibility there will be a drop in volumes of tractors for the current year. And secondly, the discounting which is going on will also put pressure on the margins, which the segment margins we have seen, they have come down to 7.85% in this quarter, vis-a-vis about 9.5% for the last year. So if the mainstay of our profitability in tractor segment is going to face some degrowth and lower margins, how can this losses of auto ancillary business of about some 30 crores annually and construction equipment of about 32 crores, how can Escorts sustain the profitability for the current year?
Maybe I will just...
Then on the industry part, maybe...
I will take one answer. Somewhere I will just answer for only one. See, the point is, the industry is the discounting is yes, but if you also look at it, the 20% of our business is with the new products. Expected to be 30% plus in this quarter. Our way of insulating ourselves from competition is only through the new products. Even though there is a stress on the new product because of under recovery, it is good for us on the long term. So those portions, we are insulating ourselves from competition largely through our new products. So that's the good story of it. The other anxiety of volume may be threatened, maybe yes, but as I said that things, even in the worst of the situation we have seen on an annualized basis a couple of years back, it was not a negative story. It was a zero kind of a growth. So there is no need to develop a panic view. So I have only seen a zero growth. I have never seen on an annualized basis as a minus 5%, minus 10%, those kind of growth didn't happen. So even though the anxiety is justified, the past does not show those kind of an acute downfall. But discount, we will face it. What is under threat is our ability to recover the money if these things going forward. That is what is questionable. Otherwise, July would have been one such opportunity to recover much more money, which was internally planned. Today, I don't know. The answer from my side is, we don't know. We will keep watching the situation. That is where when it comes to tractor side of the story. The rest, Bharat, you can answer it.
Yeah, I think on the other two segments which you talked about, the auto part and the construction one, I think we already heard Ajay and Dipankar told you about the transformation they are doing in both the divisions. So the idea is to cut down on the fixed cost and reduce the break-even point as much as we can. So we'll probably see the results coming in from the third quarter of this year, where I think something positive will emerge. And more on the construction side, I think now with the stable government in the center, the expectation is a lot of projects will get cleared and interest story will likely still, it will again go back to the original trade. So I think once the development happens, obviously the volume should start picking up. So we are really banking on that.
But in auto ancillary, are we planning any restructuring?
Yes. Well, as Rajiv mentioned, I think in the beginning of his speech, because there's already a mandate out for looking for a strategic partner there. So having said that, that's something which is already on for the last 1 quarter. And besides that, there's already something being done in the auto part division. So both in the cutting fixed costs as well as in launching the VRS scheme, what Dipankar told in the beginning of this conference. So I think once that happens, which is manpower is a major cost there. So I think once that gets addressed, you'll see the improvement happening on the auto part segment.
We are looking for a strategic partner for that particular segment.
That's right.
We don't think of, we are not interested in hiving off that particular into a separate subsidiary.
It's difficult to say at this point of time until we get some details depending on the partner's interest. So as of now, it's very difficult to comment anything on this.
Because Mahindra & Mahindra had did it for their own forging business, etc. They have given their majority stake to the company which is more competent and having technology intensive companies. Because our size of business in auto ancillary segment is too small. If you take the size of the auto segment industry in India, ancillary business of 200 crores annually doesn't really hold any potential. Even on economies of scale don't permit us to make any profits.
So like I said, it will depend on what offers comes on the board. So as of now, we don't know. So depending on the interest of the partner, if he is wanting a majority stake, we'll probably take a call at that time. So at this point, I think it's premature to even discuss this.
That is good. And all the best to you. We hope to have a better year going forward.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. I now hand the conference over to the management for their closing comments.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being present on this call today. And I would just want to make one final comment that we have a very, very focused plan for both ECE and our auto products businesses along with a group vision, which we would be more than happy to share with you on a select basis as and when we are connecting in the months ahead, so that there is perhaps a deeper clarity on where we are taking the company in the next 2 years. Once again, thank you very much for being with us today, and we'll connect again in the next quarter.
Thank you very much, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Escort Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.